What up guys, JP back at you once again, bringing you guys week number 6 in my 365 day movie challenge. This is essentially where I try to watch 365 films in just 1 year's time. Moving along, we have week number 6 here. These are the films I watched maybe a week or two ago. I'm kind of delayed. I like doing it delayed so that I don't spoil my reviews on the podcast. So, first up, we have The Howling from 1981. This is a classic film. It definitely has tons of atmosphere to it. It's a film that I really didn't care for the first time I seen it, because I'd always heard so much good things about it. Oh, it's the greatest werewolf film of all time. Oh, it rivals American Werewolf in London. Oh, it's my favorite werewolf film. The effects are so good, the atmosphere, blah, blah, blah. And I seen it and I was just like, you know what, it was just alright. I didn't love it, it was just okay. And I honestly didn't even like it in terms of entertainment value. Like, it wasn't a film I was going to run back to. And since then I've probably seen it 5 or 6 times. I watched the special features on the Scream Factory edition, and I gotta say, like, it is a really well made film. It's still not my favorite werewolf film. It's probably my 3rd or 4th favorite werewolf film. But, you know, it definitely has grown on me. I give that one 8 out of 10. Then we have The Howling 2, Your Sister's a Werewolf from 1985. This one is sort of a bad movie, but it has high entertainment value. The music, it has just a cheese and sleaze all over it, especially the sleaze. I mean, the ending of the film is just a, you know, recycled shot of Sybil Danning naked over and over and over again. So it definitely has that factor to it, which is fun. It's entertaining. You know, Sybil Danning is, you know, a very attractive scream queen from, you know, the 80s that everybody sort of loves. So it's kind of cool to see her. The story is kind of a bit of a mess. It's honestly not a film that I'll run back to a lot, but I could see why people do consider it sort of a guilty pleasure, or one of their go-to sort of cheese films from the 80s. I give that one a 6.5 out of 10. Then we get into The Howling 3, The Marsupials, from 1987. This is an Australian sequel here, The Howling 3. My God. There are some decent concepts in this film. The very idea that they take these thylacines, or whatever creature it was that existed a couple decades ago, and kind of create a werewolf out of it. This creature that is extinct in real life. This sort of marsupial, almost like Tasmanian devil, like tiger wolf thing. I thought that was a great idea to sort of, you know, kind of create a new version of werewolves. And there's definitely some subtext to this film in terms of the, like, Australian culture and history. However, it is just a complete and utter mess. It is messy, messy, messy. I mean, this guy who directed this film, his direction is just pure crap. There's certain things I liked about it. I honestly didn't hate it like the other guys on the podcast. I actually enjoyed a lot of it, and it probably will be a so bad it's good film that I rewatch in the future probably. But it's still a awful, 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 awful movie, and I give that one a 2.5 out of 10. Moving along, you guessed it, The Howling 4, The Original Nightmare from 1988. You know, this one kind of opened up well. It was shot decent, have some decent atmosphere. This one's sort of more of a prequel. Maybe not a prequel, but it is sort of this retelling almost of the original Howling film. This one's supposed to be more grounded in the roots of the book. And it just doesn't have anything. There's nothing there. It's very boring. Nothing happens for the first, you know, hour and 20 minutes of the film. The final 10 minutes is literally the first time we see a werewolf. It's the first time we see any types of action. There's like these ghost doomsayers early in the film, which you don't care about. You don't care about anything early in the film. And the final 10 minutes is kind of exciting, I guess, kind of. And that's all you have. I mean, it's a dreadful watch. It's one of those watches where you're going to be looking at your phone and checking the time every 10 minutes. You can be rolling your eyes at everything the characters say. It's a very bad movie. I give it a 3 out of 10. Do not watch The Howling 4. Then we move on to The Howling 5, The Rebirth from 1989. And honestly, Moods and a few other group members, Luis, he really liked this one. I think it's awful. Did not like it at all. It's a whodunit werewolf film that plays out like a slasher, but it is boring as fuck. So it's a complete waste of time. I don't recommend it. Don't really remember anything about it besides the setting felt cool. It was like a castle. I like the concept, and that's it. That's all that the film offers. It has sort of almost a full moon vibe to it, but even full moon's better than this. I give that one a 2.5 out of 10. And then we move on to The Howling 6, The Freaks from 1991. Also sort of a full moon vibe to it. I thought this one was a little bit better. Still not the greatest film. It's sort of set in this carnival, and, you know, there's freaks and freak shows and stuff, and there's a werewolf mixed in there. It's, you know, it's alright. It's still a bit messy and stuff. I give that one a 4 out of 10. Nothing super special, but I did enjoy it. After that, we have The Howling 7, New Moon Rising from 1995. I mean, this is just barely even a movie. It really is just like some guy really wanted to make a Howling sequel who was, you know, part of some of the other ones. He wanted to connect them together, had $0, and just got his friends to shoot a movie with him. I, however, did find it mildly entertaining. I don't know, there's something about the setting and the, like, biker bar-ness of it that I kind of enjoyed. It reminded me of some, you know, experiences I've had in my youth, where, you know, my family, my pap was kind of a biker, and I didn't spend, like, a ton of my life in biker bars or anything, but, I mean, I've been to them, and it really reminded me of that. So I liked certain things about it for nostalgic reasons, but it is just a travesty of a movie. It's a 1.5 out of 10. Do not watch it. You can't even get it on DVD in the US. I actually imported it from the UK. Then we have The Howling 8 from 2011. Honestly, this is like one of the best Howling films. I mean, I guess that's not saying much. It's still not a great movie, but I actually did enjoy it. Like, I thought that the character's love story was alright. And it just wasn't, it was just watchable at the end of the day. After watching all those other Howling films, it was watchable, and like that's all I cared about in that moment was like, oh my god, this is not just utter crap. I give it a 5.5 out of 10. Nothing special, but it is above average. And, you know, that I watched all 8 of those in like 5 days, and it was just a struggle and a half. I mean, it's the worst franchise that I have seen, for sure, hands down, 100%. And then moving on, guys, we have one more from this week, and we have They from 2002. Wes Craven's presents They, which is one of my biggest pet peeves in a title, is to include the director or the filmmaker. In this case, it's just the producer, the presenter, to include their name. It's just a huge pet peeve I have. I hate it. This one starts off really good. It's super scary and just, you know, well done, and then it just nosedives into mediocrity. I mean, it's just an average film. It gets kind of boring at times. The payoff isn't there, but you know, it's at least technically filmed really well and stuff like that. The script could have used some work. There's one scene in a diner early on, the one, you know, when I was saying it was kind of creepy, that looks to be directly lifted from this film and inserted into a Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake. I don't know if anybody else has made that comparison, but it's a very similar scene. So I give that one a 5 out of 10, guys. That's it for week number, what is this, 6? Yeah, week number 6. I've actually watched a lot more movies than I've just showed. I'm actually only 2 behind what I should be in terms of films. You know, if there's, I don't know, I'm just making up a number, but if there's 54 days so far since the beginning of the year, I have 52 films watched. So I'll be continuing to list them weekly. I just don't want to spoil stuff that I've planned ahead, so that's why I'm not talking about some of them right now, but I will get to them. Peace out, guys.